Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining in today. Well, last week I introduced a song to you called The 12 Disciples, and we're going to be singing that song again today. And last week I used some little toys while we were doing it, or I said maybe we could use some stuffies. Whatever you wanted to use, I just said go get 12 characters. Well, during the week I decided to make my own characters, my own little people. First of all, so here's some of my ideas. First of all, I thought I'll try popsicle sticks. I had Peter and Andrew and James and John. And well, they were really easy to draw. I just put on a little face, a little hair, wrote their name, but of course they wouldn't stand up by themselves. As you can see, they still don't stand up very well, so I just took a piece of cardboard and I made a little stand for them. So if you want to use popsicle sticks and you want them to stand up, yep, you can just make a little stand. Let's put those over there. And then I thought, wonder about pipe cleaners. I love making things out of pipe cleaners. I'll quickly undo this so you can see. So I took 2 pipe cleaners and I just made a head, twisted it around so I had arms, and then I stuck another one through and then twisted it around so I could get the body. So there he has a head and arms and legs and a body. Isn't he cute? But of course, he wouldn't stand up either. And I thought, how can I use this for this song? He's not standing up. So I went and got a toothpaste box. Remember what I've said about boxes? You just take them apart, turn them inside out, tape them back or glue them back together, and there they are. So then I taped these guys onto a box so that I could use them for my song. Then I thought, I could also tape one to a toilet paper roll. And I thought, well, why don't I just use toilet paper rolls? We could just use toilet paper rolls for making people. So here was Thomas and Matthew. Well, I'll tell the names later. So anyways, here's what I used for toilet paper rolls. I had these rectangular pieces of foam, and they were just perfect size to go around the toilet paper rolls. So that was really great. And then I could draw on faces and draw on clothes. I used pipe cleaner for hair for this guy. I used wool for hair for him. This guy took some material and just glued some material on and made him a nice little hat. And for this guy, I just drew on clothes and just gave him a cool string for his hair to hold his hair back. So, yeah, you can do all sorts of amazing things with toilet paper rolls. So, anyways, I decided that these would have been the best people for me for making my disciples, but you can make them out of anything you want. So let's find out now a little bit more about these guys. Now, as we learned in the song, you knew that there was 12 people that Jesus specifically said to come follow him. The 12 disciples. That's what they're called. And disciple means learner. These men stayed with Jesus. Where's my little Jesus guy? These men stayed with Jesus, and they went with him wherever he went. I'll just use one of these guys. They went with him wherever they went. They hung out with him. They sat at his feet and learned from him. And you might be thinking, well, they must have been very special people to get invited to hang out with Jesus. But no, they weren't anybody special. And one thing they were, though, is they were all really different from each other. And for some, you might think, whoa, why did Jesus pick them? Well, let's take a closer look at these guys. Okay, so we had Peter, Andrew, James, and John. In our gospel lesson today, actually, that was read in church, you hear the story about these 4 being invited to follow Jesus. Peter was actually called, his name is actually Simon, but Jesus changed his name to Peter, and he called Andrew first, and Andrew went and got his brother. Oh, you got to come see this guy. He went, and he was invited to follow, and then we had James and John as well. These 4 guys were fishermen. 2 sets of brothers. These 2 were brothers. These 2 were brothers, and they were also fishermen. But they were very different in their personalities. But Jesus loved them very much. for who they were. And then we have, next in our song we had Thomas, so I have to find out. Here we go. Here's Thomas. After Jesus died and rose again, and he appeared to his disciples, Thomas wasn't there, and so he said, unless I see the marks in his hands and side, I'm not going to believe. But then Jesus appeared to him, and yeah, he believed, but he became a very strong man of faith. And then we had Matthew, and Matthew was a tax collector. Now, here's one you wonder, whoa, how was he invited to follow Jesus? Because tax collectors weren't very well liked. But after he got to know Jesus, his heart was changed. His heart was changed. So we had those two. And then Philip and Bartholomew, we learned about last week. Now, you might say, I thought his name was Nathaniel. Yeah, he had two names. Nathaniel and Bartholomew, you'll find him referred to that in different stories. I think they chose to use the name Bartholomew in this song because it rhymed. And then, whoops, I dropped my little guys. And then, so I'll move these guys over. And then we have these guys, they aren't very well known. We really don't know much about them. He was called James the Less, and some scholars think because he was younger than the other James, or maybe he was a younger brother to Jude. We don't know. He was called James the Less. And then we had Jude, who was also, another name for him was Thaddeus. And then we had Simon, and they say Simon the Zealot. The Zealots wanted a revolution. They wanted the Messiah to come and overthrow the government, and not necessarily in a kind way. I imagine after hanging out with Jesus, that Simon probably learned to see things a little differently. And then, of course, then we had Judas. You're going to find out more about Judas as we get closer to the Easter story. Well, maybe we don't know much about these guys, not as much as these four. You hear a lot about them in the Bible. So maybe we don't know much about these guys, but I kind of think that they were probably good team players. On a team, some people are up front and center like these guys were, but some are kind of background people, but everybody has a purpose, and everybody has the invitation. Yeah. The cool thing about taking a look at these guys is that all of them is that Jesus didn't look on the outside. He looked on the inside. He knew what was in their heart, and he knew what they could grow to become. And that's pretty good news for me to hear. That gives me hope that Jesus knows who I am inside, and he knows who I can grow to become. Well, I think it's time to sing our song. So if you have, if you made any people last week, or if you have any little toys or little stuffies, you just need 12 characters. If you want to press pause in just a moment and run off and get them, and then we'll be ready to sing. Okay, so go ahead and press pause, and we'll see you in a little bit. Okay, have you come back? Great. You got your people all ready to sing the song? You're probably wondering, where's the words? Well, I'm doing something a little different now. The words will come across the screen as we sing. So let's get ready to sing about these guys. Here we go.
Peter, Andrew, James, and John, fishermen of Capernaum, Thomas and Saint Matthew too, Philip and Bartholomew, James the Less and Jude the Brave, Simon the Zealot and Judas the Knave, 12 disciples here in all, following the Master's call. 12 disciples here in all, following the Master's call.
was thinking maybe this was your first time hearing this song, so let's try singing it again, and I'll start over here this time with Peter and not over there. Okay, let's see if I can get it going again. Get ready to point to all your people.
Peter, Andrew, James, and John, fishermen of Capernaum, Thomas and St. Matthew too, Philip and Bartholomew, James the Less and Jude the Brave, Simon the Zealot and Judas the Knave, 12 disciples here in all, following the Master's call. 12 disciples here in all, following the Master's call.
Well, hopefully your people stand up a little better than my people do. Okay, I'll just put these away. Well, you know what? Just like the 12 disciples, we are all very different people. But Jesus wants us all to be learners of him, all to follow him, no matter who we are. Jesus says, I love you. And I've got a song to sing about that. The song I Love Ya is written by David Godfrey, and it's from my Kids Praise 2005-2006 CD. Now, the actions for the song is I might have knobby knees. You can't see my knees, so I'm going to just use my knuckles, but you can press to your knees. I might have knobby knees, a squidgy tum, so squid your tum, hairy toes, again, you can't see my toes, so I'll do hairy toes, and a wiggly thumb. But Jesus says to me, I love ya. I might have spiky hair, a dimply chin, pointy ears, and a cheeky grin. But Jesus says to me, I love ya, because he made me in a special way according to his plan. And Jesus looks inside my heart at who I really am. So I've got clapping hands and arms to raise, dancing feet. You can't see my feet, but dancing feet for all my days. Because Jesus says to me, I love you. And again, you don't see the words, but they'll come across the screen. Okay, so let's sing this song to finish off.
Jesus says to me, I love you. I'm on a funny hair, dimply chin, pointy ears, and a cheeky grin. And Jesus says to me, I love you. 'Cause he made me in a special way according to his plan. And Jesus looks inside my heart at who I really am. So I've got clapping hands, arms and raves, and dancing feet for all my days. 'Cause Jesus says to me, I love you. Jesus looks inside my heart at who I really am. I might have naughty knees, squidgy tongue, hairy toes, and a baby back, but Jesus says to me, I love you. I might have funny hair, dimply chin, funny ears, and a cheeky grin, but Jesus says to me, I love you. 'Cause he made me in a special way according to his plan. And Jesus looks inside my heart at who I really am. So I've got clapping hands, arms and raves, dancing feet for all my days. 'Cause Jesus says to me, I love you. 'Cause he made me in a special way according to his plan. And Jesus looks inside my heart at who I really am. I might have naughty knees, squidgy tongue,
excited when that song started that I forgot the actions. Anyways, I hope you had fun with that song because it's exactly true. Jesus says to you, I love you. Let's close with prayer. Dear Jesus, thank you so much for loving us. We are all different people, but you love us all just the same. You know our hearts and you know the person we can become. We pray that you continue to be with us and help us to always want to follow you, to learn from you, and to grow to become the person you know we can be. Amen. Well, I hope you have fun this week, maybe making some little people and trying to learn the names of the disciples. It's just kind of a neat thing to do because as you make them, you think, yeah, they're all different, but Jesus loved them all. I wonder what yours are going to look like. Okay. Bye-bye. Have a good week.